Hello guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for those who have subscribed. If you are new here maybe and you like our content, please subscribe, share, and also like our videos, so that we can grow the family. So today we are talking about a very important story. I know most of the people are coming and are planning to come to the UK, or they are already in the UK. Then I just want to share about the cost of living in UK currently. Yeah, so if we start and look at the current inflation rate in the UK right now, if you look at it, you will find out that it's still standing on high on 11.1, which is affecting a lot of families. And then if you look at the food inflation, it's sitting on 16.4, which is the highest in 44 years. So people are struggling. Food is becoming expensive, and the salaries have not increased. And if you look at and if you read in the newspapers, you see that the rail workers are striking, the nurses they are striking, and all other main workers in many sectors, especially in government, they are striking because the salaries have not increased, but the food prices have increased, and then the cost of living has gone up. So it's something which which a person, if you are considering to come here, you need to first of all factor in, study, and see how the current situation is in the UK, so that you don't make a very uninformed decision. The other thing I want to emphasize is, if you are a foreigner, when you come to the UK, if you're a foreigner, you don't qualify for universal credit, or you don't qualify for the benefits. So you need to look at the salary which you are being offered by your employer, and then you see the cost structure, and you understand if you are going to manage, because that's where the problem is. If you look at the rentals right now, the rentals are one of the costs which really choke people in the UK, because the rentals are very expensive, and you don't have any option mostly to get a cheaper accommodation, because many people are coming here. The demand for properties, the demand for accommodation is very high, so it also pulls up the prices of the rents. So you need to make sure that you look at that, and you look at your salary, you look at your what you earn and your cost structure, so that you don't come here and then you get shocked. So that's another thing. And they also look at right now currently, if you look at the rents, they are averaging £800. That is mostly the minimum for the rents going upwards. So you need to see how much am I getting, how much am I going to spend on the rent, and then on the food, and see if you still have something to spare. The other thing we need to look at is if you look at also the issue of the interest rate. The interest rates they went up. If you look at someone who has got a mortgage right now, they are paying 500 more because of the interest rates, which have gone up tremendously in the past 6 months. So that's another thing we need to also put into consideration, that the cost of even getting a property is becoming high, and it's very high in the UK currently. So you need to know about that, and put that into consideration. There's also an energy crisis. The bills for the energy right now, they've been kept on 2.5 for a household per year, but then in April they are going to also reduce that help from the government, and then they will go, that bill is going to go to 3,000, which is a lot of money. If you calculate it, if you divide it by 12 months, you'll see that it's a lot of money. So that's another thing, especially in the winter. The cost of heating your house is very high, so you need to make sure that you put into consideration that, and see to it that, are you affording or you are not, because sometimes you just don't need to come to the UK just for the sake of it. You need to come for the better life. So that's why I'm giving you all this information, so that you can make good informed decisions. So the other thing I wanna advise people is, you look at also buying in bulk, and or even buying, like if you go to big supermarkets. One thing I've realized is, if they've got those promotions where they say multiple buying. If you are going to buy, let's say, a bundle, a box of tomatoes, not a box, just a small box of tomatoes. If you buy 2 of them, then you get a discount. If you buy 2 sachets of bananas or oranges, then you get a discount. That's something which you can use so that you can ease your costs. You can have discounts and then you can save money. And then what can you do currently for you to survive in the UK with the current situation? So what I would suggest is, especially if you are a foreigner, just know that you are not going to get benefits mostly, but then on energy bills, sometimes the government will give you maybe 150 or 200 help. That's the only thing which you get, but all other benefits you don't get them. So you need to be very meticulous in your calculation. You need to be very meticulous in your budget. So you make sure that you do your budgeting. Don't go to the supermarket and do impulse buying. Do your budget, stick to your budget, so that if you need to reduce something, just reduce, so that you can remain within your budget, because it doesn't help for you to spend all the money on cost, and then you don't save anything. Then you are retiring. What are you going to have in future when you retire? Then you also need to make sure that you don't go into unnecessary debt. That's another thing which is very important. If you don't need to get what I call an unnecessary debt is, if you want to go and get a phone which is expensive on contract, you want to go get a credit card, you just want to put yourself under pressure. Those things are not necessary. Why don't you just go even get a second-hand phone, and then if it's working for you, or even a second-hand laptop, if you want to work from a laptop, that's it. Don't go into those small unnecessary debts. Just get, maybe the only debt you can get is maybe you need a car. If your work involves moving around, maybe you need a car. If you get an opportunity to get a mortgage, then you can get a mortgage. That would be that's what I call necessary debt. But all other things, to me, they look like they are unnecessary debts. And the other thing you need to do is you may try and invest in your country. Mostly, I always tell people that if you look at a pound, it works well if you want to invest in emerging countries. If you look at if you look at 100 pounds to a rand, you see how much it goes, and 100 pounds to a shilling, Kenyan shilling, or in Indian rupee, you see how much you make. So it means you can, if you invest in your country, then you are going to make a better, good investment there. And then if you want to bring back the money here in the UK and maybe buy your property here, then you can use those proceeds. It will help you than for you to try and use 100 pounds here or invest 100 pounds here. It's not going to work because it's too little. So those are some of the things which you need to look at. Another thing is you need to look at also working from home. If your company allows, especially those ones in IT, if you have got an opportunity to work from home, then look for a job to where you are going to work from home, or it's hybrid, whereby you go to the office maybe once in a week. That will save you from transport costs, because transport costs also, they are very, very prohibitive. And then you also need to look at working in your local area, because if you are going to work from London and then you are living 75 miles from London, and then you are going to have problems with the cost. It's going to be expensive. So you would rather look for a job in your local area, where even if you, let's say you're a carer or a nurse, working in that hospital which is in your locality, working to that care home which is in your locality, where you can walk to and from work, then you save a lot of money, because here £1 it's valuable. You make sure that you don't just lose money unnecessarily. You need to plan yourself. So this is what I'm giving you guys today. I hope this has been very useful. Make a decision. I've given you this information which is accurate. Make sure that you use it to your benefit and you make informed decisions when you come here. Don't be shocked. Many people, they come here, they get shocked, they get distressed, they get depressed. They also some of them, they try to commit suicide because things are not balancing. So you got to know now, with this information, it will help you to adjust. Thank you very much, guys. If you like what we are doing, if this content is helpful to you, please share, subscribe, and like our videos. And